Vivek Ramaswamy. So congrats on the project. We need all voices, particularly from people who actually think about stuff. You don't think President Trump's going to die anytime soon? That's a great analysis. Well, he might die.
It's the sheer joy, as they say it, that you actually got to dissect here. That's actually what's going on. Is there's this word called Schadenfreude. It refers to rejoicing in somebody else's sorrow. That's what I saw there, and I think that's what's disgusting. But that's also the theme of why I've launched this podcast. One of the things I saw in the presidential campaign, Bill, was the media has just systematically made a business of lying. And you talk about news media. The idea that the news is actually the news is still the myth that many people in this country indulge. I saw that in my campaign. The objective of the news media isn't to actually report what is happening. It's to create an impression that stops people from seeing what's happening.
And I think you're right. Generally speaking, yeah, it's driven by ideology, particularly the corporate media, which has now decided, look, the way we make money is to preach to a choir. We don't care about the majority of the American people. We want to spotlight certain people, have them come in as many nights as they can, and we'll give them what they want. And I think that's beyond dispute. But let's get your point of view on a number of things. So you say how our money is being spent in Ukraine. Do you think we're being fleeced here as American taxpayers?
I think we have been fleeced as American taxpayers because we have very little accounting of where that first $100 billion went. And I think it is a mistake, and frankly, it's a bipartisan mistake, to fork over more money to Ukraine when we don't have an answer for what the next $100 billion is going to accomplish that the first $100 billion didn't.
Okay, let me stop you there. You know that all foreign aid is given to the countries, and there is no accountability for that foreign aid. We do not audit foreign aid that goes into any country. We don't have that authority to do it. And we can ask them, but to me, looking at the Ukraine war with Russia, the Ukrainians have fought pretty hard, almost to a standoff against Putin, a much more powerful person and country. And I know that the aid that Americans and NATO have provided Ukraine has allowed that. Would you say I'm wrong?
I'd push back. I think you're partially wrong, Bill, with due respect, because had the United States not provided that aid, you know who would have? It would have been Germany and Western European countries who have actually enjoyed the security blanket that the United States has provided without actually any particular accountability.
You would have been
I do believe that.
Willing to take that chance because Putin takes that country over. There's an article today in the Wall Street Journal about Georgia, the country of Georgia, and how Putin's trying to undermine that country now. Georgia would like to get into the EU. Forget it. Putin has got his people only. All right. Now, I had Tulsi Gabbard on yesterday, and we disagreed on Ukraine. I am firmly in the camp. I don't think it's unlimited, by the way. I don't think you just keep sending and sending and sending.
I think you and I may have a respectful disagreement on this. I think one of the things we have done in this Ukraine war by the U.S. funding Ukraine is that we're actually driving Russia further into China's hands. The Russia-China alliance is stronger today than it was 2 years ago.
There's no doubt about that.
As opposed to what I think we should have done, Bill, which was in the early part of this war. This is now going back a couple of years. There should have been an easy, quick negotiation that Zelensky was ready for.
Putin didn't want it.
Well, no. You know who didn't want it? Boris Johnson, who traveled. I think it was that April, soon after the war started, when Zelensky was ready to negotiate. Boris Johnson, who was facing his own issues, created a deflection and traveled to Ukraine that effectively convinced Zelensky out of it.
Look,
so I think that in many ways we have
Putin
inadvertently contributed.
He doesn't want
escalating this.
He can't sell it. He's a big, strong man. But you're right about Russia and China being closer together, because when evil coalesces, and that's what's happening in the world, Iran, Russia, China, evil. They want to cause problems.
We need to disband the Russia-China alliance. I think that's got to be the top goal of U.S.
You can't disband
foreign
it.
policy.
I mean, we have no way to disband it.
Well, here's
the
thing,
Putin
Bill.
are going to do what's best for them, and what they want to do is weaken us.
I love the discussion with you because it's a healthy. We don't have these healthy debates on the right enough. People said the same thing. You can't do it back in the 1970s when Richard Nixon made a plan to actually move. Did he trust Mao Zedong? No, but get Mao Zedong out of the hands of the USSR. People said that was impossible. Now, did Nixon trust Mao? Of course not.
It wasn't Mao. It was after
Mao at the time.
No.
Well, he pulled him out, pulled pulled Mao-led China, slowly weakened that alliance
yes,
with the
but
USSR.
it was new leadership that was, and the people were starving, and Nixon had an upper hand there. It wasn't Mao. Mao would have never done that. But Putin will, I think, if
point is, people
Trump
thought it was
elected,
unthinkable at the time, just as it's unthinkable today to pull Russia out of China's hands. But I think we can do it, and every step we've taken, I think, has had the inadvertent effect. I'm not saying
here's what's possible,
but the inadvertent effect of pulling them into Russia's hands. So I think you and I agree that the Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat we face.
There's no question about that. But you got to put Iran into that triumvirate. But I believe if Trump is re-elected, that he'll make a deal with Putin. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.